I'm joined now by Assemblyman David Werprin, former City Council member. Thank you so much, David, for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Morgan.
So we had in this new special edition for the State of the State legislative dossiers for all the new members, and you had a real host of priorities for the 2014 session. What are going to be your top aims this upcoming session?
Well, I'm chair of a relatively new subcommittee, well, new for me anyway, banking in underserved communities. And I have a very diverse district, very multi-ethnic, a very large South Asian population, Latino population, a lot of immigrants. And among those immigrants, there is a lack of banking services and credit available. And a lot of it is language issues and culture issues. So I'm going to make it a priority to make sure that the immigrant communities throughout the city and state really have access to banking services.
And Assemblyman, are the principal concerns there that there aren't enough banks in immigrant communities to service the population, or is it also a concern about fraud? I mean, we saw with the secondary mortgage crisis, a lot of unscrupulous banking practices. What aspect of that are you really going to focus upon?
Well, you know, basically it's not just traditional banks, it's other financial services. In a lot of minority neighborhoods, you have check cashers. Obviously, I think that the community should have availability of credit unions, other licensed lenders, and of course access to mortgage. It's a shame with interest rates being at historical lows that there are so many individuals, particularly in the immigrant community, that really can't take advantage of even refinancing existing mortgage. I know there's been a major effort at the federal level, but I think a lot more can be done at the state level.
And tomorrow is, of course, the State of the State address. What are the main things that you're going to be looking for from the governor's address? What do you hope that he prioritizes?
Well, I know he's going to prioritize cutting taxes. Even though I consider myself a progressive, I think cutting taxes, especially on small businesses, should be a priority. I have a lot of small businesses who are really being overtaxed, and I think it's very important that there be relief for the small business community. I'm also happy about his proposal about medical marijuana. I've been a co-sponsor of Assemblyman Gottfried's bill in the Assembly on medical marijuana, and I actually support legalizing marijuana and taxing it as well. But obviously that's somewhere down the road. This is a first step, but there's no question that there are so many people with terminal diseases, with major illnesses that really could benefit from the relief that can come with medical marijuana.
And the legalization of marijuana bill, that's State Senator Liz Krueger's bill. Is that the bill that you would like to see also in the Assembly, or a parallel bill?
I would. I also have another priority of mine, which is we call the Adoptee Bill of Rights, which would allow adoptees access to their original birth certificate, which currently under New York State law is sealed. I actually have a hearing on the bill in the Health Committee at 250 Broadway on January 31st at 11 o'clock. I'll give a little plug. It's a Friday morning, and we're going to have people testifying from all over the country about allowing adoptees access to their original birth certificate. When it was sealed many, many years ago, the climate was different. The stigma attached to giving up a child for adoption was something that was a stigma at the time. It really is no longer a stigma. Families have changed, societies have changed, and why should someone that happens to be adopted but happens to be a citizen of the city and state have any less rights to know about their heritage, to know about their birth parents, to have access to certain important medical information that comes from that, especially with Facebook and with the internet and with finding out people who have money can find out who their birth parents are, but you may have to spend a lot of money with private investigators. Why should someone doesn't have money, that's poor, not have that same access to their original birth certificate?
Well, I'm sure adoptees and the parents of adopted children will be carefully monitoring that legislation as it progresses. I hope that you'll check back in with us about that. Assemblyman David Werprin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Enjoy
Morgan.
the rest of the evening.
You too. Happy and healthy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.